You're on, go ahead.
All right, we will call the meeting to order. Jen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Corbin?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Thau?
Here.
Commissioner Walter?
Here.
And Mayor Lindsay.
Here. You have before you the agenda for this evening.
Move we adopt the agenda for this evening.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under appearances and acknowledgements, and that, Todd Kays, representative from First District, is here for an annual update. Are you going to?
Wrong time.
That's what I asked.
That's
if you.
the wrong time. I was like,
Okay, I was asking if you're here for Todd
Okay.
Kays. Did you hear anything from him?
I talked to him Friday. Why don't we just skip to
Okay, we'll just
Mr.
pass
Drysdale?
that for
Can we
right
do
now
that?
and go. I see Mark is here. So, Mark, if you wouldn't mind coming to the table here. That way everyone at home gets the benefit of hearing better what you do, what your request is. Well, sometimes you never know.
I guess what I'd like to propose is the city council look at amending their snow plan or snow policy, whichever you have, to include the use of snow gates. We have a large senior population that gets affected by that greatly. We did it 20-some years ago. We used to use it. Sioux Falls is using it successfully. I purposely didn't bring a bunch of seniors in here and make a big thing out of it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I met with your street superintendent a year ago. We discussed it. We basically, there's 1,000 reasons why not to do it. There's a whole bunch of good reasons to do it, and we could agree to disagree on some of that stuff.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, nothing was followed up on that there. So that brings me to here. Like I say, Sioux Falls went through a painful process, which I hope we don't have to go through to get it. I'd hope that you'd kind of do your feel of the community and whatever, and see that there's a huge support for the snow gates out there. When I was talking to Kelly last week, he had mentioned that Sioux Falls had some breakdowns with this wet, heavy snow that we just had.
There it is.
But that's typical with anything. Every municipality struggles with taking low bid, low whatever, so you just got to be careful how you spec what you get and what you. All in all, it's been a successful program down there. I would like to bring it back here. Like I say, we did it 20 years ago. It was great. I think I tell Kelly the story. I take responsibility for killing that program because KJM had some promotion going. If someone does something really good in the community, do something to reward them. So that year at Christmas time, I sent a big meat and cheese platter over to the city because I did appreciate that. And I think that was the last time it ever got used. So anyway, I would like to bring that to the forefront. I think I've been more than patient. I brought this up over a year ago. There is a ton of support out there, and I'd like you guys to just to look at amending that. And if you, for whatever reasons, find out that you're not going to, if you get back to me as quick as possible, I'd appreciate that, and then we can determine how or what to go forward with.
And just to bring you up to date in that, we as a commission, there were a number of us in that did go to Sioux Falls, and we met with Drew and Huber and talked about their Snowgate program. And they put it in because it was voted in by the people. In the process and that, if they work well, not necessarily great, but well, on snows less than 4 inches. It does add more than 20% cost to the snow removal budget and maintenance budget, because you have to go slower and that. And in this last snowstorm and anything that's above 4 inches, they don't use them because they're ineffective then, and it has a tendency to break them down. We did use one year in that while I was mayor, and this is my fifth year, and we found that everything that he said was true here. I can't say that we as a commission have addressed it at all since visiting with Sioux Falls. So it is something that you're giving a presentation here, and Gary came this evening in that to answer any questions or add to it. But It is something that, you know, we didn't just put it by the wayside. We did look, but then that was kind of as far as we've gone.
And like I said,
Sure.
I'd like to revisit that, and it's like, I say, it's stuff, when you plug the driveways, it's a huge strain on, especially the senior community.
Understood.
They may not have the money to have the local snow guy come through this, gets here and take it out of there, they're out there shoveling. It kills people.
It does.
I mean, it kills
Yes.
people.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah, and so, is it a cure-all? No, but is it,
Is it helpful?
It's
Yes.
helpful, yeah.
No question.
yeah, and so I think the benefit far outweighs the cost when we look at that. Does it change how you do your snow plan? For sure. You know, I can take a plow truck and run up and down the roads pretty quick and just shove the snow away. Now I've got to place the snow. So my snow plan changes dramatically.
Yes.
But the level of service that we provide to the public is what we're asking for to increase. We want to increase that level of service.
No, I appreciate you bringing it, you know,
Okay.
and like I said, you know, it is something we've looked at, but then we, you know, haven't gone any further. At this point, I'd ask any of the commissioners, or if Gary, if you had anything you'd want to offer, or, you know, anyone else in the audience. Please, yes, please.
Yeah, it's just a matter of money. I guess we gotta find out where we want to spend the money at. Well, right now we have one blade, we have to probably do at least one blade. I was talking to Mark Cotter down in Sioux Falls, and all their blades are front wheel assist. I think they'll really help. And Bob knows this too. We both run those gates, and we pretty much have to chain up to get it to work. Like I said, I did like it for cleanup. It was, you know, you go through the intersection, you don't have that hump that you left behind. You know, but we always say we had snow gates, we had 2, and we plow with probably 6 plows, so somebody's gonna get left out if we did end up going this way, we'd have to go with some kind of a rotation, you know, so you're not left out every snowstorm. You know, you're not gonna get it every time, and there's gonna be times where people just have to realize that we have too much snow. I remember taking those snow gates off because it would hold back more than it would let out, with it open. It's just something you gotta decide if you wanna pursue. Like I said, I've done it both ways. I did try to, you know, we had that little Ford tractor. I tried different ways of keeping the snow out of the driveways with that. I put a cap on that blade, or that plow, and I turn it inside out when I come to the driveway. And I've had limited success with that. I don't get as much, keep as much out of there as I would like, but it's just something that, and I tried it on this last snowstorm, and it was just way too much. It didn't hold, just ripped that flap right off, so. But yeah, there's definitely some uses that we can use them for. It's just, we gotta decide what we want. You know,
Well,
the first step would be that extra blade would be, I guess, expensive.
And we do have budget time coming up. So that's something, you know, that, we can take a look at, you know, and maybe have at least a discussions during that time period, and then, you know, see which way the commission would want to go. So.
How many snow events do we average? Like,
We ended up with quite a few this year.
that was
It
just all
started
in
out
April.
slow. And 10 or 12 in April.
The budget was looking good until April.
Other
Well-
questions or comments?
I used to run with the gates, and sometimes we had to drop down 2 gears. If you was lucky enough to run in 6th, you had to drop down to 4 sometimes, and it's gonna take an extra probably 4 or 5 hours to clean the town with 2 blades with gates on than what it is with what we got right now. But I'm not against them, and I'm not for them, so it's kind of a weigh this situation out.
I agree, there's no doubt, there's added expense, added time,
Sure.
whatever, but South Dakota typically gets 30-some inches of snow. we don't get any snow. You know, I speak to airports all over the country about snow. Buffalo gets that in a storm. Okay, so there's other places other than Sioux Falls that are dealing with the same problem too. Maybe
Right.
we look at that, but like I say, we're talking about increasing the level of service, and there's no doubt there's cost and time to do that. And I think like I say, I think there's a huge desire within the community to increase that level of service. And it's not, like I said, we're not dealing with 60, 80 inches of snow a year.
No.
And this last storm.
You know, and this last one,
is
you know, we had the rain first, and then we had the grapple, and then we had the 14 inches of snow on top of it, and
And-
even the equipment that we had struggled.
And like I said, when we go by and we plug that driveway again, and like this
Yes.
one, and then it freezes, those people have an ice chunk in their driveway.
They do.
If you're not there when they go by, so that gets compounded also. So there was no, like I said, there's no perfect answer to this whole thing,
No.
but we can raise the level of service.
No, other questions, comments? Well, I appreciate you coming, you
Yeah.
know, and
Thank you,
again,
guys.
you've brought it to the
Yeah.
forefront, and, you know, it'll be something in that, you know, we'll take a look at it during budget time and see which way, where the commission decides to go.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. All right. Is there anything anyone wants to remove from the consent calendar?
We're gonna have Todd speak now?
I am right after this. I'll
Oh.
just do this, and then while he's getting set up.
I'll motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And for those at home, Todd Kais has arrived, and we'll be hearing from him and that next. Welcome.
I'm sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I didn't realize that they were gonna have a flag man north of town when they were doing the rip wrap project. So I got slowed down there just a little bit. I was
Two
cutting it a little
seasons.
close anyway.
2 seasons. Winter, construction.
That's right, that's right. Well,
Welcome.
Thank you. For those of you that don't know me and for the public, my name is Todd Kays, and I'm the Executive Director of the First Planning District in Watertown, South Dakota. And every year I like to come out and meet with our communities and our counties across the state to talk a little bit about some of the activities that are going on with the First Planning District. And so some of this, for some of you, I've been doing this for 10 years, some of the message is going to be a repeat, and with some of those there'll be new information. But the First District is one of 6 regional planning and development districts located in the state. We have sister offices in Pierre and Rapid City, Aberdeen, Yankton, and Sioux Falls. So I hit this button here.
Page down, there you go.
We've been around since 1971. We're not government, but we're creatures of government. We were created through executive order by Governor Frank Farrar, and we basically operate under what's called a joint powers arrangement. This is where, in our situation, 11 counties and 76 communities get together and work together to promote community and economic development within the region. We run from Roberts County down Moody, over Minor, and back up to Clark. As far as how we are governed, we have a governing body of 35 members. There are 3 representatives from every county that sit on our board. Currently, Roger Hageman is the county representative from Lake County. Mayor Roy is the municipal rep. And recently, Jeff Bloom just came on board and was appointed here recently as the at-large member. We also have the members of the chairman of the Flanders Santee Sioux and System Wapachino Yafe also sit on our board as well. As far as how we are funded, we have 3 general funding streams that come into the office. Dues make up 23%. All communities with a population of over 100 in the counties pay dues into our organization. We use those dues to leverage other state and federal grant opportunities. We also do some specific federal and state contract work, and that equals out a total of about a little over 50%. The other half of our income comes in fee-for-service work, where we're doing specific work activities for our members, and those fees are done at a discounted rate just through the power of the collective. We're able to take money from Brookings and maybe come to Madison and take a part of the project, or maybe we'll go to Carthage and use some of those dollars to Wentworth. And lucky, I've been with the district, well, when it says 24/8, but tomorrow's my 25th anniversary with the district, and I'm very fortunate that we're very seasoned staff. We have 14 full-time employees, and a couple part-timers that come in and out, work with us, doing a wide variety of services for our members. And many of you are aware that we do a lot of grant applications, a lot of loan applications. If you're looking for money for a water tower or a fire station or what have you, we work with those primary funders, the federal and state governments, and act as the conduit between the local applicant and the funders. And if are fortunate enough to get those projects funded, then we lots of times will come in and help and assist with the project administration, doing all those dotting the i's, crossing the t's, all the red tape, because there really is no free money out there. You have to pay for some of it, and we have to make sure we get all the management done there. As far as planning and research, first 15 years with the district, I was primarily just a land use planner and a community planner. We do studies, we do base research, we do survey work. If it's got book report or anything in the title, we've probably done one of those over the last 47 odd years. We have a few specialty areas. Geographic information systems is really an integral part of our office. I have 4 people who are solely full-time just in GIS, managing geographic information data that we use from our planning to our grant writing, to all different facets of the organization. We also work with our communities and tax and financing and helping with them back on research, and we also do revolving loan funds. Our sister organization, the First District Development Company, is a certified 504 loan processing facility. They manage those SBA funds, plus we have a whole portfolio of loans that we provide and partner with other local lenders to create new businesses and expand existing ones. Working with banks and also other regional revolving loan funds such as East River or Grow out of Sisseton. But they're always out there just promoting the different programs that you see at the state and federal level. We always try to show that we do have some benefit by having membership into our organization. The easiest one is just generally showing what kind of dollars we were able to help our members obtain over the course of last year in many of their community and economic development projects. Last year, we were able to help our members with about $6.9 million in grants and loans. But of that 6.9, 2.8 was just in grants. So for every dollar's worth of dues, last year it was about $11 back in outside funding sources. It's not so much that we have those dollars, or we just know what doors to knock on, and we help facilitate those process. Since I've been the director since 2008, we've been able to help our membership obtain about $56.9 million in grants coming for a variety of infrastructure and community development projects. So about $25 return for every dollar. Lake County, this last year, about $15.74 return from 2008 to 2017, and about $2.33 for every dollar's worth of dues that came into Lake County. We take a look at this at Madison this last year. While there were no direct grants to Madison, your membership in our organization, we did receive a couple of federal grants that came in to help promote economic development and recapitalizing our revolving loan fund. So just the share of Madison on a per capita basis shows about $3.68 return for every dollar's worth of dues. And grant dollars aren't the only way to show value to our organization. It's just the easiest one, the easiest metric to show out. And there will be years where we might not do much for grant writing, and then a couple years ago we did pretty good with getting the big water project, working on that with Big Sioux Community Water. So it kind of ebbs and flows. Since 2008, a couple $1 million we've been able to help just help Madison with that. As far as just some specific projects, I also handed out a sheet that just shows some of the different work activities that we have done within the county. My biggest work in Lake County in the last year has been working with the town of Grant Lake. They're South Dakot's newest city, and we've been working with them on developing land use planning and zoning rules for that city as they've been managing their long-range growth. Specifically in Madison, last year, we're still working on managing the grant dollars and loan dollars for that water construction project. I did a little bit of board training and board adjustment. Chad periodically calls us, and we talk about a variety of development issues. We do know that the city might be looking at updating their comprehensive land use plan, maybe in the next year or so. We've been having conversations, we'd be more than glad or willing to help and participate in that process. Other than that, I just very quick, how do you do, and see if you had any questions, or if there's anything that we should be focusing our efforts on, helping Clay County and the city of Madison.
I don't have anything in mind at this point in time, and that, it's been a big help in the past. And,
Roy usually comes to our meetings, so he's
Yes.
always spending my year, letting me know what's going on. But again, we appreciate the working relationship that we've had over these 47 odd years, and look forward to another good year. And the mantra is always the same every year. You just have to call and ask. We're never sitting still, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for the phone to ring. Something's always going on.
other questions or comments?
Well, thank you so very much.
I think we're all very well aware, and that, and I really appreciate the services and that you've provided for us. So.
Thank you so very much, and we'll hopefully we'll have to see you. I'm waiting for a year to see you, but
Yes.
next week.
Well, you picked a sunshiny day this time, so it worked out
We've been
okay.
trying a couple
tried
of
hard,
times,
didn't we?
it snowed, and,
Yes.
I'll take the 80 degrees as opposed to the snowing.
I totally agree with you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay, under old business, 5:35, we're a little past that. Hearing upon the application for the sale of alcoholic beverages, transfer of retail on-sale liquor license from Madison Brewing Company, LLC, the Pub House, to MKT Properties, LLC, Primetime. Is there anyone here that wanted to speak on that? Yes, sir. Now you're Todd.
I am Todd, yes. Wow, this is just a wonderful community. Everybody knows me. I'm from Watertown. And it's like, oh, this is just ironic. We're looking at taking over the Pub House and turning it into what we think is a little something special. I don't know if you've ever been to Huron, but there's a Primetime Tavern in Huron. It's basically the same concept.
Okay.
I've been in the food industry for 36 years. It's the only job I've ever had. I figured it was about time I start working for myself and have some fun doing it. So.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Are you gonna rename it to Primetime then?
We're gonna rename it Primetime Tavern
Uh-huh.
and do pretty much the same concept. Limited menu. We look at the one in Huron, and I'd love to do the same thing here. It's about people. It's a meeting place. Having fun. I worked for Burger King for 36 years. One thing that I can say is going out is getting more and more expensive, and it doesn't matter what you do. This concept is reasonably priced, good food, and just about anybody can go there and have a good time.
Very good. And just to kind of bring you up in that, to here, right now we're having what we call the hearing. And so if there's anyone else that wants to speak, to it and that, they're more than welcome to during this portion. But then in the new business, which we'll take up next, will be the approval of the application.
Okay.
And that, so at this point in time, you're welcome to stay there, but I'm going to ask if there's anyone else here that wanted to speak on behalf of the application. And seeing none in that, I'm going to move to new business. Approve the application for sale of alcoholic beverages, transfer of retail on-sale liquor license, Madison Brewing Company, LLC, the Pub House, to MKT Properties, LLC, Primetime.
Jen, it looks like the application, everything's all in order.
Everything's in order. Yep.
Very good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the application for sale of alcoholic beverages, transfer of retail on-sale liquor license, Madison Brewing Company, LLC, the Pub House, to MKT Properties, LLC, Primetime.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing it.
This community, I really do.
Yes,
Thank you.
and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 2, authorize the mayor to sign the agreement. Corey Berry, law enforcement officer certification. And I'm going to ask Chief Meyer if he would like to speak to this.
Good evening. Just a brief reminder, this is a contract that basically covers a 3-year period of time to cover the city on any costs that we would incur when we send our new uncertified officers out to the academy. That is currently a 14-week program. And that agreement basically outlines that we would be required to pay them minimum wage for the 14 weeks that they are out there, and any wage that they would receive from the city over and above that minimum wage, they would have to reimburse us if they left the city within the first 3 years of employment. So.
And this is not something new to us. It's something that we have done before. So at this point, I'm just going to open it for questions or comments.
I was just going to say it's something that we put in place, a while back, and I think most of you were on the commission when we did it. So I'll make a motion that we authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with Corey Berry, law enforcement officer certification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 3, authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with Kevin Donovan, law enforcement officer certification. And I am going to assume that everything is the same as what you just addressed.
They are the exact same contract word for word. It's just a way to protect the city and our investment that we put into these new officers and equipment and training.
Yes. So,
And with that, I'll make a motion we authorize the mayor to sign agreement with Kevin Donovan, law enforcement officer certification.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Did I see a hand?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to acknowledge.
Okay,
Okay.
just a quick question on that. I'm assuming because we're sending them out for training, they're gonna come work for Madison?
Yes, that's what this.
When they're done?
That's what this agreement is. And the agreement is, in the past, in that we'd send somebody out there. I'm going to stand to be corrected, but they weren't here 3 years. We paid for all the training, and then they moved on to somewhere else.
Right.
So this was an agreement that we as a commission put together, to, kind of protect Madison's investment, so that if they were hired away from us by another city, Madison would get reimbursed, for a portion of their the training expenses that Madison put into that particular officer.
And I think it's a good agreement that you guys do. The question I had pertaining was, my understanding, an officer had retired.
Correct?
Okay, so one of these is gonna replace him, I assume?
Correct.
Okay, what's the other one for?
The other one, and that was budgeted for when we did our budget last year, to add an additional officer in 2018.
Okay, so how many officers does that make for Madison?
13.
13?
Yep.
Does that include the SRO?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
And thank you.
Thanks, Marshall.
Okay. Number 4, authorize the mayor to sign change order number 2, American Fence Company, Ball Field Backstop Fence Project 2018-2. And I'm going to ask if Chad or Mike, either one of you want to address, or both of you?
I can make a few comments, and then Mike can elaborate as necessary. Thank you, Your Honor. In the agenda packet is a change order number 2 for the project for the ball field fence on Bachman Bellotti. Basically, this adds 40 feet of fence, to a 12-foot high fence to the project on the south diamonds, on each baseline, basically. Mike brought it to my attention that due to some changing standards and some changes in the field size, I think extending the baselines, that moves some of the bases farther away, and the line of the throws and so on like that. There would be an increased chance of some of the balls sailing and leaving the field, potentially hitting bystanders and such. And so after he and I talked, and we talked with the contractor to see if he still could do it because he had already drilled the holes and set most of the poles already. He said he could do it, and then he gave us some pricing and such like that, and that was incorporated into the change order. The price addition is $33,762. With this second change order, that would take the price of the project to $66,343.13. They've been working at the project. Some of the fields had been soft, got some better working conditions later last week. So we're still optimistic that they're going to be able to complete it by the end of this week, and certainly before the, I believe the May 15th or so deadline, or when the games start that Mike has. So with that, I'll defer any questions on the contract part to answer those questions later, or if Mike has any further elaboration on, I maybe didn't get everything just right with the extension.
So the fields were 40 foot, a 12-foot high fence, and on 11 and 12-year-old baseball, the bases will go 65 foot instead of 60 foot, so we extended each field 10 foot down the first baseline from the current bid. This arose probably about a month ago when the VFW announced that they want to go to 65-foot bases instead of 60-foot bases. So it kind of, we designed them with 60-foot bases, so that's the reason why we're only doing 2 of the South Diamonds, because that's where the 11 and 12-year-olds play. The 9 and 10-year-olds play on the North Diamonds. That's why we only elected to do 2 of the Diamonds.
And then this still, if my memory serves me correct, still brings us in under the previous company's bid.
Yes, I can't remember what that one, it's right around 66.
It's right around that same
Correct,
same
of course.
figure. So.
And then we've added 40 feet of fence
Yes.
and made some other changes last time. And it is, I should also comment, the budget is 70,000 for
Yes,
this.
it is. So we're still under budget.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, under what we budgeted for it. So, nope, just wanted to bring that out for the media's reporting. So, questions or comments?
This final change order on the diamonds then?
I hope so. They're going to be done by Friday. There's not much else to add.
Tough to add a change order by
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, I don't believe there's going to be any additions needed. It's moving along
All
as well
right.
as can be expected.
I'll make a motion, we authorize mayor to sign change order number 2, American Fence Company, Ball Field Backstop Fence Project 2018-2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bid number 873, review and award the bid for Cured in Place Project 2018-3. And I'm going to ask Chad to address this one, please.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor and Commission. On April 19th at 2 o'clock, we opened bids for Cured in Place pipelining. It's inserting a liner tube essentially in sanitary sewer piping. It's to basically that pipe takes the place of the host pipe and functions on its own, if you will. It is full strength and such. But this is a common process that we haven't done too much, but it's pretty common in the region and all over the United States to rejuvenate, or I guess that's not the right term, but just to get more life out of your sewer pipes without open cut excavation. They can put these liners in and reinstate the services and such without having to dig. We did a project, I believe, in 2012. Midlands is actually one of the bidders on this project who did that project in 2012. They came in a close second. But the low bid was HydroClean LLC out of Watertown, South Dakota. We worked with them on televising and such, probably more so the Public Works Department and than myself directly, but I've coordinated with them on some different things as well. They're comfortable with their bid. I would recommend that we award the bid to HydroClean out of Watertown.
And not only does this make the pipes stronger and last longer, and that it also reduces infiltration from groundwater, and
Yes.
that as it goes past the joint.
Definitely
So
for the
it does
length,
help.
for the length of the pipe. You know, we're full-blown rehab, extending them up the laterals to the houses would further increase that, but that's not as common of a practice. And it's certainly more expensive. But absolutely, it will help reduce inflow, more infiltration, excuse me, yes.
Questions or comments?
Anything from staff?
We've worked with them in the past. They're a known quantity. They did 6,000 feet of the same process in the city of Fort Pierre when I was there, so it's something that works really well.
Thank you. Did you hazard an engineer's estimate for cost?
Pardon me?
Did you have an engineer's estimate
Yeah.
for the bids?
Yeah, I was in the 300 to 330 range, so the bids came in much better than what I anticipated. I hadn't done this again for quite some time, and so I was probably a little more conservative. And furthermore, the budget, I apologize, I don't have the budget, but I believe it was
Considerably
what?
under 435?
435, but we had reduced some quantities from that before we even, when we were starting to refine the scope of the project. So all in all, it's going to be well within budget, and it's well under what I had estimated for the bids as well. And you can see the pretty good grouping here too. That helps, gives an indication to know that that's what this costs. It's a real price, if you will.
Good to see multiple bidders.
Yeah, from all over
It is.
the upper Midwest, yeah.
Any other questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve bid number 873 and award to HydroClean in the amount of $205,193.95.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 6, approve a peddler's license application, Signature Realty Group. And I'm going to ask if there's someone here that would like to speak to that.
Hi, I'm Miranda Crum. I work at Signature Realty right across from Lewis. I don't know if you guys have been watching the housing market in Madison, but it's pretty desolate. So we have never done this in Madison. It's pretty common around Sioux Falls or in bigger cities to door knock, essentially. We're not door knocking so much for we want business, but we want to educate the community on the housing market right now. It's definitely a seller's market. Last year, to give you an idea, in 2017, we had 42 houses on the market in March. This year we started with 19. As of today, I just checked our MLS, we have 3. So it's a pretty big deal in the fact that we have tons of buyers. It's kind of an epidemic. People are moving to town. The end of the school year is starting, and people are wanting to buy because they're graduating school, and there's nowhere to buy for a first-time home buyer. The 3 houses that are on the sale, one's listed for $99,000. The other 2 are listed for $239,000 and $250,000, which obviously is not a first-time home buyer's price range. So we basically want to go around and show people statistics, and it's not even explaining it. It's just going to be giving them a flyer on the marketing statistics that are supplied by the Sioux Empire MLS, the supply demand, the monthly market indicators, and then this is actually the last year's statistics for Madison from March to March to show you. And then it shows you that when your house hits the market, that right now your house is selling within 97% of asking price. So it is a great time to sell if you were thinking about selling. And because tomorrow's May Day, we wanted to hand out flower seeds as well, just for being pesky and saying, here's some housing statistics, here's some flower seeds for making you come to your front door. So, and if they choose to call us for a CMA, which is a comparable market analysis on their house to see what it's priced at, great. If not, they have the information and the tools to move forward if they do decide they want to sell their house. I think a lot of people don't really realize what their houses are worth in Madison right now. A few people I've talked to have pretty much had to close their job But it's a great time to sell, and we have pools of buyers, we just have no homes to put them in. So we just wanna basically hit that $100,000 to $200,000 price range in homes, and just let them know if they wanna sell, that, they can do it with anybody, not just Signature, but, it's a great time to do it, so.
What range were you looking at?
Huh?
What range did you say?
So anything underneath 200,000 really. So for instance, we have, I have a house that we're listing, Julie Jones and I, out of our firm tomorrow. It'll hit the market. TMI. No one's supposed to know, you know. But it'll hit the market tomorrow at some point. It's gonna be listed for $79,900. So it's very competitive. It's gonna attract tons of people. A small 2-bedroom, 1 house, or two-bedroom, 1 bathroom house. It'll probably be sold by the end of the day. Possibly multiple offers. That's how like cutthroat the market is with the buyers right now. We just need to educate the community members and let them know that if they are wanting to sell, it's a great time to do it. So.
And how extensive are you going to be in your knock on doors? I mean, you're going to hit every house in town, or?
No. There's only 3 of us that are doing it out of the 6 of us out of our firm. We're just gonna pick a couple neighborhoods and walk hopefully tomorrow if we don't get blown away or rained out, depending on weather. And we're just gonna try it as a trial run. We've never done it in Madison. If we get a negative response, we'll never do it again. If we get a positive response, then we might do it again if we need to get the housing market going again. Usually there's tons of houses to choose from and it's never an issue. It's incredible. We have a marker board with tons of buyers and people wanting to move to Madison, but there's nowhere to put them.
We're glad they want to move to Madison.
Yeah, and graduates that are graduating from DSU and there's no homes to put them in. Parents that are willing to put up money and there's nothing to put them in. So, yeah. So, if you got any other investment ideas? Great opportunities, guys.
Brandon, you indicated your data was from the Sioux Empire creator MOS. What the information you're using, your stats?
So like for Signature Realty, Exit, Madison Realty, we are all part of the Sioux Empire MLS. So it covers Madison, Lake Madison, it covers Chester, Colton, Coleman. We're all connected to the Sioux Falls Empire. We're part of the Empire. Multiple listing MLS.
Okay. I'm only asking that because this is oftentimes listened to by a lot of folks and want to make sure they understand who's coming around.
So they collect the data off of every house that we sell and what it sells for and what it was listed for, and so that's how they're able to pull these numbers from the last year for just Madison. But like I said, as of today, we have 3 houses for sale in Madison. That's not very many.
And how long will this go on?
We're just going to try it for a few hours tomorrow evening.
Okay.
We might hit 20 houses, we might hit 50. The other lady's older than I, so I don't know
this,
how fast they walk.
if we approve this, we're just approving it for
tomorrow evening.
If we get rained out, are you gonna be back and ask for another day, or you're just
Yeah,
gonna
so
go for
if
it?
it doesn't work tomorrow, then I'll ask Jennifer here if we can pick another day to do it.
So you just approve a 1 day? Is that appropriate?
Yeah, I wanna make sure because we, our public safety side of it, our law enforcement need to know when you're on the streets so that.
Yeah, so if it doesn't, for some reason, if it's raining or super windy tomorrow night, and I can't, you know, one of my ladies, she's not going to.
Doesn't want to be out in the elements,
So,
that's
in
fine.
all
I
the
get that.
elements, so if it is, then I always let her know that we're
We
not
agree
going
to coordinate.
We'll
Okay.
We'll let
coordinate
the
that,
PD know.
and then
Sounds
I'll
good.
let them know when we can make that up
Sounds good.
in the near future.
One other quick question then, if somebody is not home, are you going to leave the flower seeds or, and the materials? I'm just wondering if, like.
He's wondering if he's got to
in the
get a pack of
doorway?
flower seeds.
No, I'm just wondering if they're gonna be flying all over like the leader land or something.
I wasn't gonna just leave them, just on people's doorsteps
Okay.
going around, no.
Okay,
No.
I just didn't know if you
And
had
we
if you
kinda
had a
plan-
way to secure
We
it or
plan on
something.
doing it in the evenings, so that for
Should
that
be
reason,
home.
people work should be home. If not, then we'll just move to the next place, and
Okay.
that was just a missed opportunity.
Very good, thank you.
Okay?
I
Thank you.
appreciate Signature Realty coming in and applying. And I would recommend that you make a motion to approve this, but I will tell you that based on my reading of the law, Signature Realty is not a peddler. They have
a
South
business.
Dakota presence, they have a Madison presence, they have a permanent business, and they don't have a good that they are supplying for immediate delivery. So I think that they could do this with or without you, but I think it's nice that they gave you, you notice, and I think it's nice that you can give law enforcement notice just in case someone wonders what's going on. But I think what they're doing is quite honestly permissible outside of the peddler's ordinance.
Agreed, and I think some of the people in our community will probably appreciate the flower seeds.
Yes.
And so that the community knows that we have a stamp of approval for the right reasons here, I make a motion we approve the peddler's license application for signature.
Second.
And before we go any further, I'm going to ask David, because of the comments that you said, Jen, the peddler's license fee is,
$25 per day.
okay?
Not per
And
person,
so
but per
since
day.
they have a presence and meet all the qualifications in that David just outlined, is that something that, that we want to waive, the fee?
The fee is waivable by motion.
And I'm going to leave that to the commission.
I would include that, but there's already a motion and a second. Do we need to make that motion after we vote on this one first?
Just a second. Was there a second?
Yes, I did.
There was a motion and a second.
The second.
What you could do, and David, correct me if I'm wrong,
If
is
you make
could
it,
let
if
this
you
one-
accept that,
I would accept that.
as a
on my
second and as the first, I'll accept
That's
that.
fine, as long as it's noted, then that way
Yep.
you could proceed.
Very good.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second as amended. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Good luck.
like I said, if we get a negative response, we won't do it again because we are permanent fixtures in the community. So that being said, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Seeing no announcements.
Yeah,
do-
I have a couple things.
Yes.
Gary, would you come up here for a second to the chair? So that next week we have the
Clean up.
citywide cleanup. Is there anything you want to, some things that would be helpful to the department that you could tell people right now? Just a few things and managing glass and that.
Try to keep your pile hidden 48 hours before, so you don't, just try not to put it out too early. If you have windows, try to stack them on the sides instead of burying them on the bottom. Same way with tires. You can't take tires with rims. No appliances. Try to keep your recyclables out, because you can't take those out there. Basically on that handout, but the glass is the main thing. If you're throwing away mirrors or glass, let's try to put them on the side so we can see them, so we don't want anybody throwing it cut up.
Okay. Just a good opportunity, just a couple of those things that are helpful and pick up. Like you said, try not to have it out there too soon. I think there is it 24 hours or 48 hours?
48 hours.
Only stuff from your own property, not other people's from other communities or other homes that are not in the city. Just the stuff that's within our community.
Keep the tires separate in a different pile, that helps us speed things along too.
And no rims.
As we grab everything with a grapple, if we gotta take that tire out, just adds to the time, stuff like that.
It's really helpful if they can put their storm windows and storm doors off to the side, because then you gotta rake the glass up, and it just takes extra time to do that.
Okay.
And then, just kind of correct me in that, I was looking back and that seemed like in the past, we've taken somewhere around 80 tons or something in that neighborhood each year when we've cleaned up. And at a cost to the city of somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000. So, this isn't a cheap thing in that the city provides, but it does give people a chance to clean up and clean out.
Yeah, does ICAM still take stoves and hot water heaters free?
Yep. And you take that out there, take refrigerators, use the appliances you got.
And for those people in that, that are going to be reading in a newspaper, iCamps is known as Recycle, right? Recycle on the south bypass of Madison. So,
East of Interlake Sports Center.
yes. So that way people will know where to find it, where they may not know it by the family name. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Very good, thank you. And with that, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion, we go in.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I was told, true or not, I don't know, if that you may possibly take some input on commissioner areas of assignment, since that is going to be on the agenda for next.
That'll be on the agenda for next week, and you could communicate with any of the members in that are on the board. Uh-huh.
At that time, or?
Well, between now and then. It's not on the agenda this evening, but you're welcome anytime and that to, contact any of the commissioners and myself.
In
you know.
private, but not in the meeting.
Well, it's not on our agenda for this evening, and so, if it's not on our agenda, it's not something we'll address tonight.
Okay.
But we will be looking at it on the agenda next Monday night.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming.
Okay.
Okay, we got a motion?
Second.
And a second? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are now moving into executive session.